Hello students, in our last class we have seen regarding the physical assessment till the physical assessment of neck and the till the neck. So in this video or in this session we will be seeing regarding the physical examination from chest onwards. Okay, so in the chest you have to observe for the skin, you have to inspect the skin and you have to inspect for the scars, sores, color, lesions, chest movement and the respiratory rate. Also, you can use the technique of palpation so that you can able to find out any masses or tenderness present in the axilla and in the breast. Then coming to the lungs, here you are using the method of auscultation and the percussion. So why you are using the auscultation? If you auscultate, you will can able to assess the respiratory sounds from the lungs and from the chest cavity. And percussion you are doing in order to find out or to detect the accumulation of fluid or air in the chest cavity. So for the lungs, to inspect the lungs or to do the physical assessment in the lungs, we can use the techniques of auscultation and the percussion. Then, what are the abnormal sounds, or when we are assessing the thorax and the lungs, what are all the findings we will be getting? So, whenever you are inspecting the thorax, see the abnormal findings, which is including, see the increase in the chest size, condor, abnormal breathing pattern. So, the abnormal breathing pattern, it will be by using the accessory muscles, such as the diaphragm may be sometimes used for the breathing. So that can be heard. Then unusual chest expansion and abnormal breathing sounds. Then see, if you're seeing this picture, this is barrel shaped chest and this is pigeon chest. So barrel shaped chest, pigeon chest, so these all are the abnormal findings you will be getting in the assessment of thorax and the lungs. So abnormal findings in the, when you are inspecting the thorax, you can able to find out the abnormalities such as increase in chest size, contour, abnormal breathing pattern by using the accessory muscles, unequal chest expansion, abnormal breath sounds, then barrel chest or the pigeon shaped chest. So coming to the heart. So here you are auscultating the sound. Auscultation method is used and you will be hearing the heart sound. So S1, S2, the normal heart sounds, and you should also know to detect what is a normal heart sound and what is an abnormal heart sound. Then coming to the breast is inspected for the skin color, scars and lesions. Also you can able to use the method of palpation to find out the presence of any masses. So whenever you are auscultating the breath sounds, you can able to hear three types of sounds. One is bronchial sounds, one is bronchovesicular sounds, and another is vesicular sounds. Bronchial sounds, if you're seeing, these are heard over the trachea, which are the high-pitched harsh sounds where the expiration is longer than the inspiration. So what is bronchial sounds? Bronchial sounds, they are heard over the trachea, and these sounds, they are very high pitched harsh sounds, and in this type of breath the expiration sound, it is longer than the inspiration sound. Coming to the bronchovesicular sounds, which is heard over the main bronchus and a moderating sound, but here if you're seeing both inspiration and expiration, they are of same tone. Next one, vesicular sounds. Very soft, low-pitched sound which is heard near to the base of the lungs, and here inspiration is longer and expiration is shorter. So these are the three types of breath sounds: bronchial sounds, bronchovesicular sounds, vesicular sounds. Bronchial sounds, high pitched sounds. Bronchovesicular, they are moderate sounds. Vesicular sounds, they are low pitched sounds. Okay. So bronchial sounds, where it is heard over the trachea, where the expiration it is longer and inspiration it is shorter. Bronchovesicular sound, which is heard over the stem of the bronchus, here both inspiration and expiration it is equal. Vesicular sounds, soft sounds which is heard at the base of the lungs. Here inspiration is longer and expiration is shorter. Then another abnormal breath sounds, it includes wheezing, rhonchi, crackle, friction drum. So wheezing sound, that is abnormal sound, rhonchi, which is an abnormal sound from the lungs, crackling sound, and like friction rubbing sound. So these all sounds are abnormal breath sounds. So coming to the extremities. So here, how you can able to do the physical assessment in the extremities. So inspect the hand and the legs for the symmetry. So whenever you are doing the physical assessment in the upper and the lower extremities, you have to inspect for the alignment, symmetry, color, temperature, whether any sore, scar or lesion, inflammation, even varicosities. So what are varicosities? So in some people, you can, whenever you're inspecting the calf muscles of the leg, so calf muscles, they are just the muscles below the knee. So the muscles, if you are inspecting there, you can able to find out the veins. You can able to see the veins which has inflamed and which has, you can able to see it outside. So that is known as varicosities. So you have to even see for the varicosities. Then you have to palpate for the tenderness. Then you have to see whether edema is present or not. What are the pulsation of the arteries? So whenever you are checking the pulsation, you can use the sites such as brachial pulse. You can able to assess the radial pulse, ulnar, femoral, popliteal, posterior tibular, dorsalis pedis pulse. Any pulse you can able to check and you can able to find out the pulse rate. Then also you have to go for or check for the capillary refilling of the nails, or whether the toes or fingers are clubbed or not. So that also you have to find out. Then the deep tendon reflexes. See, already in the last class I have told you that you will be using a knee harmon to find out the deep tendon reflexes, so that you can able to assess the working or the functioning of central nervous system or the parasympathetic nervous system. So for that, here you are using the deep tendon reflexes, a special harmer, that is a knee harmer. It is used to find out the reflexes present in the biceps, triceps, patella and the axillaris. So coming to the abdomen. So in the abdomen, you have to inspect the abdomen for the color, sores, lesions, scar, position of the umbilicus, distension and the contour. Even you can able to palpate and you can able to find out whether there is any mass present or not. Okay. Also you can able to find out the enlargement of organs such as liver, spleen and the kidneys. Then you have to ask the patient how about their bowel and bladder elimination. So that also you have to note down. Then percussion you have to do to find out whether there is any abnormal presence of fluid or gases there or not. Also you can able to locate the margins of the organs such as intestine, spleen or liver. So for that you can able to do the percussion. You have to auscultate so that you can able to hear the sounds, intestinal sounds, mobility of the bowel and also the increase in the sounds, that also you can able to hear. So in the abdomen, for assessing the abdomen, we are using the all the four techniques: inspection, palpation, percussion and auscultation. Okay, so four techniques, all the four techniques are used to assess the abdomen. Inspecting or observing the skin for color, sore, lesions, what is the position of umbilicus, palpating the abdominal area to find out whether there is any enlargement of organs or whether mass present or not. You are doing the percussion so that you can able to find out an abnormal accumulation of fluid or gas in the intestine, and even you can able to locate the margins of the organs. Also you are using the auscultation method so that you can able to hear the bowel sounds. So if you're seeing this picture, you can able to see the quadrants of the abdomen. There are 9 quadrants of the abdomen. Okay. So see, first let me explain the middle one, that is epigastric region, umbilical region, hypogastric region. Okay, so uppermost middle quadrant it is epigastric region. The center one it is the umbilical region, and next is the hypogastric region. Left and right to the epigastric region it is hypochondriac region. Left and right to the umbilical region it is lumbar region, and left and right to the hypogastric it is iliac region. Okay, so these are the quadrants of abdomen. So coming to the genitalia. So whenever you are assessing the genitalia, keep on communicating with the patient, or so that you can able to expect a positive answer or a positive attitude from the patient. So if you are doing assessment in a female, you have to ask for about the presence of abnormal discharge, sore, warts, itching is present or not. A male person, if you are inspecting, you have to ask for whether there is any sore, itching, warts or abdominal discharge. So for the both male and female, you will be asking them whether any sore, itching, warts, abnormal discharge present or not. So this you will be inspecting or asking the questions related to the genitalia with the patient. Coming to the rectus and the anus. So inspect for the skin color, sore, hemorrhoids present or not, and the lesions. We have to do the digital palpation to examine the anal canal for the masses or sphincter functions only when it is important. Otherwise, this digital palpation, just inspection, it is enough. But if the patient is having any particular disease related to rectum and anus, there you have to do the palpation. So whenever you are assessing the male and the female genitalia externally, so this is external genitalia of a female and this is the male genitalia. So both you have to inspect it externally so that you can able to find out whether there is any edema or any sore, itching, anything is present or not. So this is the digitally we are examining the rectum. So palpate, we can able to palpate the rectum and the anus if the patient is telling or if the patient has come with the problems, special problems related to these structures. So then the mental and the emotional status has to be checked. Okay, so whether the patient is stable or not, whether the patient is conscious or not, whether the patient is having any bipolar disorder, mood disorder. So for all that, whether the patient is oriented to time, place and person, for all these things we have to do the mental and the emotional status examination. Then the behavior and appearance of the patient also has to be checked. So behavior, if you are checking what is the, how is the activity, whether the patient is active or whether the patient is dull, how about he is looking, whether he is looking active or not, or dull, anxious. So this all things has to be checked in the behavior and appearance. The intellectual function also has to be checked, such as the memory of the patient, knowledge of the patient regarding the abstract thinking, association, judgment. So the intellectual function can also be checked. Motor functions such as balance. See, if an old patient, if you are assessing, so how he is balancing his body, whether he is maintaining a steady gait. Romberg's test in order to find out whether the patient is having or whether the patient is maintaining the normal body position. What is the motor functions and the coordination between the functions, whether he is having a fine motor function or gross motor function, whether it is normal or not. So the motor functions, how he is, whether he can able to hold any objects, or when the patient is walking, whether he is out of balance or losing his balance. So the motor functions such as balance and gait has to be checked. Then already I told you that you have to check the reflexes. Okay, so especially if you are seeing the biceps, triceps, knee or patella reflex and the angle tendon reflex. So these are the normal reflexes we will be finding out. So if you are seeing, see this is patella reflex. Here you are doing the Babinski reflex. So what is Babinski reflex? See this black arrow, if you are seeing, it means that whenever you are giving a stroke like this, there will be the fan folding of the toes. Okay, that is known as Babinski reflex. So all these reflexes has to be checked in order to find out whether the person is having adequate functioning of PNS and CNS, parasympathetic nervous system and the central nervous system. So after doing the physical examination, the important part comes here, that is documentation of the data. What all things you have assessed, what all things the patient has told you, then you have to document it in such a way that if any subjective data is there, it's better to note down the subjective data as per the words of the patient. Okay, how the patient has told you, same like that, the actual factual fact has to be documented. And the objective data, so what is objective data? You are observing and finding out. Objective data also you should mention it. Okay, so documentation of data is very important, then only we can able to use the data which you have find during the physical assessment for the further process, that is for the diagnostic purpose or planning purpose and for implementing our care. So documentation of data is also necessary. Then aftercare of the patient, after you have completed with the procedure, make sure that the patient is comfortable. So if anything, if you have used like suppose if you have used any jellies for inserting the vaginal speculum so that you can able to inspect the vagina, see that you are cleaning the patient if you have used any jellies, and then make the patient comfortable. Put on the clothes if you have removed the clothes, and then you have to send the patient outside. All the articles what you have used, that has to be sent for the sterilization. Then the gloves and all you can able to dispose in the proper bin, and other articles you have to send to the CSSD department for the sterilization. Also, after the physical examination, when it is completed, if anything has to be given for the laboratory, or if any test is ordered in the laboratory, then you have to send the patient to the laboratory, and also you have to tell or recommend if there is any follow-up visit or not. But all the things what you have done, that has to be documented. Clear? So in this class, we have saw regarding the physical examination in the chest, thorax, abdomen, breast, then the genitalia, upper and the lower extremities, rectum and anus. Also, you have saw regarding how to document then the aftercare of patient and the articles. I hope you have understood this class. Thank you, dear students.